Today we look to see if the newest card to join Marvel Snap will truly be the big man on campus. Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So we just entered a brand new season where we ask the question of what if? The first card we're looking at this season is going to be Goliath. Goliath was born and raised in a ghetto. He had a rough childhood. However, always resourceful and creative, he did not allow those circumstances to dictate the rest of his life. He used his intelligence for a free college education with a PhD and joined the United States military, serving in the Special Forces during the war. He is regarded as a pioneer by many heroes of his race, and is an influence for many people throughout the world on how you can rise above your situation. Goliath also worked as a biochemist with Hank Pym on creating an advanced suit that can grow the wearer to extreme sizes through Pym particles. Although he disagreed with the creator's methods, they worked together until a disagreement between them caused Pym to end their relationship. He would have stayed a solo act, but he was called in to deal with a threat by S.H.I.E.L.D., and together with other individuals with extraordinary abilities, he helped start his version of the Avengers a lot sooner. Goliath would later become a technical advisor for the short-lived Champions, and after that stint, he was employed by Project Pegasus as a biochemical researcher. After that, he would team up with his good friends and other heroes as a freelancer, and these were some of the greatest times of his life. Unfortunately, he also contracted radiation poisoning through his many battles, and this poisoning always got worse every time he used his power. So he had to give up on going big. Goliath was always somewhat reluctant to be a hero, as he always had to use caution when it came to using his powers, knowing that many of his punches and stomps caused extra property damage. Now, the painful side effects of the radiation poisoning only compounded this fact. But he takes his suffering in silence. Even though he is in constant pain, he still always tries to make a good impression among his colleagues when he needs to, and is willing to sacrifice himself if the situation called for it. Goliath possesses a gifted intelligence with excessive knowledge in biochemistry. The result of this is a formula containing Pym particles, which increases his size to giganticness by drawing mass from an extra-dimensional source, while also gaining immense strength and durability with this increased height. The extra mass returns to the source as he decreases in size, but the process of height alteration is fatiguing, and this makes him more vulnerable to harm after successive changes. Goliath created an advanced suit that can grow the wearer to extreme sizes through Pym particles, gaining immense strength by drawing on mass from an ongoing extra-dimensional source. This is represented in Marvel Snap as he will keep gaining strength by drawing mass from each ongoing extra-dimensional source. So Marvel Snap, what this character does is he is a 2 cost, 1 power. With the description of ongoing, he will gain +1 power for each other card on his side of the field that has the ongoing effect currently up on it. So in Marvel Snap, I believe that this card is pretty good and would be considered a 4-star card. Now, why is it not a 5-star card? Let me go over some of the reasons why this doesn't end up a lot higher on the list. The main reason that this doesn't end up a lot higher on the list just has to go with ongoing itself. And to be honest, what if I was to just say that I believe this card is just maybe a little bit too fair? If you're looking at the ongoing cards, other than Ant-Man, your second best ongoing card that's a 1-drop is Howard the Duck. That's pretty much your second best ongoing that's a 1-drop. The only other one that comes close is Quinjet, and with how you want to possibly play Goliath, you really don't want to use the Quinjet. Now, a lot of people are comparing this to the Morbius. The problem with the Morbius, or the problem with comparing this to the Morbius, I should say, is Morbius, first of all, gains +2 for each time you've discarded a card, where Goliath only gains +1, and Morbius has the bonus of having a MODOK in its deck usually. There is not really any cards that will give you that quick 7-point boost, that 14-point boost, I should say. If you have Morbius and you play down the MODOK, you're getting +12 on right then and there. So, on average, you're looking at maybe 4 other cards that are going to be down with the Morbius. With the Goliath. So if you say 4, maybe even 5 other cards down with the Goliath. It basically ends up somewhere around Black Cat's stats. So having out 5 ongoing cards is not easy, besides Goliath, because it doesn't count itself. And you basically wouldn't play a Black Cat even if she didn't have the downside of her disappearing sometimes, because now it's a little hard to have a card that's putting up that point power when you have cards like Iron Patriot, which in all fairness is a 2/6 on pretty much most days. 2/7, 2/8 sometimes. One of the cards that it's good with is going to be the Mystique, because you would play the Mystique after this, and that way it would gain the power of the Goliath. One of the cards that's bad with it, of course, is the Rogue. If your opponent plays the Rogue or the Super Skrull, they'll just take everything that you did for that entire game. One of the things that you kind of gotta be cautious about is just the fact of how many ongoings only exist as good ongoings near the top end of the list. Your stuff down at the bottom, like the Captain Americas, aren't going to be enough to really push your power forward. While the card that you really kind of want to look at is going to be Spectrum. Now, Spectrum is great because it gives everything +2 at the end. The problem with Spectrum is Spectrum's not an ongoing card. She herself gives ongoing power, but does not have any ongoing effect. So you're losing 1 power by just playing her alone. Another problem that you gotta deal with is because of how everything works, because you need so many slots to really make Goliath work, debris and clog effects are gonna really hurt you. Another issue that you have with ongoing as it currently exists is, as of right now, there's not a single ongoing card that does location manipulation. If you're playing Marvel Snap, one of the biggest cards for you to have in your deck, period, just for better win rate, is some form of location manipulation. And because ongoing doesn't have a single form of because ongoing doesn't have a single form of location manipulation, there's really a lost slot if you ever have to use that. One of the cards you may look at using in this is going to be the Moonstone, because of course this is below the Magic 3 cutoff of Moonstone. So, play this on Moonstone, it gets double the power, so that's kind of interesting. And now gets +2 for ongoing, and Moonstone herself is ongoing. So just playing this on Moonstone alone would give it +4. Another thing that you may want to look at in this is going to be the Doom 2099. Doom 2099 is one of the only cards I can think of off the top of my head, and maybe somebody can correct me, that every single turn you can get an ongoing on. And because you can get an ongoing every single turn, you'll get a bonus to this card every single turn. Now the problem with this is the Doom 2099 itself is not an ongoing, it's technically an end of turn effect or a static effect. Another card you may want to play in your own deck is the Super Scroll. If you're figuring that people are going to try to do stuff around your Goliath by doing weird stuff, then Super Scroll basically takes all that back for you. So all in all, it's generally a good card. I have no problem with how this card is. I don't think the flaw is in the card itself. And to a certain degree, I want to commend Second Ghetto for making a card that is basically a simple caveman card. You look at this card and in 2 seconds you know exactly what it is, you know exactly what it does. Doesn't have that much text and it doesn't need to do a million crazy things. The problem is, I'm just not sure it is broken enough to really see play in the long run. Because honestly, a 2.6, even a 2.7 might not be worth it nowadays. Other than Goliath this time around, we are talking about Gwenpool. Gwenpool kind of doesn't work with Goliath in any way, shape, or form. The card that she technically would work better with might be Captain Carter. But even with Captain Carter, to play Captain Carter on 4 and play her on 5 is going a little heavy. Or to play her on 4 and play Captain Carter on 5 is a little ugly. The problem with Gwenpool is where she is right now, how she is right now. She's kind of fallen to the Galactica, as you can control the Galactica a little bit better than you can control the Gwenpool. And sometimes if Gwenpool hits something in your deck that you had no intention of playing, you basically have whiffed a roll. The other card in this week is Cersei. Cersei just, I don't know whatever happened to her. She just never found a home, never found a deck. She's really hard to use. The fact that she's a 5/7 isn't good enough to take away the fact that before you play her, you've got to play 3 other cards and hope, pray that they will change into something better for you and not something worse for you. And because of the RNG, she's never found a home. I don't think if you're missing all three of these cards, I don't think there's anything bad with these three cards. The only thing I will caution about, and it's kind of weird to talk about Spotlight Caches right now in general, is very soon the Spotlight Caches will go away. The keys will go away. And theoretically speaking, each key that you have right now will be better for you once we get the pack system. I can't guarantee that, but you have to look and see where you're at and what you want maybe in the future. I'm still gonna roll because this is how I make content, so let's find out what's inside the box. And we got Victoria Hand. Alright, I've done Victoria Hand before. I'll try to find something else for this Friday. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.